Hello, this video is what I think about Phoenix. I was in Phoenix for about 3 weeks. When I left Phoenix, I was kind of regretted it and I wished I was there longer. I really liked Phoenix. Phoenix, Arizona has a cool energy. Different towns have different energies, like that you can just feel. And Phoenix was a town where I felt like I could just hang out at forever. Like in the library. I could just hang out in the library forever and be really chill and relaxed. Like I did not feel that way in Las Vegas, and I'll explain why later. And I didn't really feel like that in Tucson. Although when I was in Tucson, I was a nocturnal, and nocturnal wasn't the greatest way to go. And then I went back to the library. But there was more energy in Tucson, more like. But Phoenix was really relaxed, really like chill. And there's lots of different. It's a huge city. It's the 5th biggest city in America. But it doesn't feel like a really big city, and the traffic is really not bad at all. It was never gridlock, because it's a new city and it's really spread out. The streets are really wide, and it looks lot more affluent than Tucson. I forgot to mention in my Tucson video that well, I guess I didn't really notice because it was the first town I lived in, but yeah, the street signs are kind of old. There's like potholes, but in Phoenix is really affluent. I mean, the street signs are big. Really big and new. Everything's painted new. The streets are in really good shape. You know, the streets are really wide, big parking lots. It just seemed like a really affluent kind of city, and it was big, and there's lots of like mixture of people. Like in Tucson, it's just like whites and a hell of a lot of Mexicans. But in Phoenix, there's lots of black people too. The Central Library in Phoenix is really cool. It's huge. It was like 4 stories. Had a big like indoor like waterfall, man-made waterfall in there. Made out of glass. Like the whole thing was made out of glass. Like instead of walls, it was glass on the side of it. It's a big dome right next to downtown. Downtown was a cool area, and it wasn't busy at all though. It was like a ghost town. I didn't see people walking around. It was weird. Different from like Europe. Yeah, Europe is different. Like, European cities are different from American cities, and maybe I could make a video about that. But, like, European cities, like, the center is where everything's at. In America, the center isn't where everything's at. Like, the rich people in Europe live in the center of the cities. Rich people in America live on the edges of the cities, and the poor people live in the middle. And people go in the middle to those skyscrapers to work and stuff, but there's really not, like, there's not, like, bars and happening place. It's weird. Like, it'll freak you out if you're a European. You'll go to the center of the city and there'll like be nobody there, you know. But they kind of had like 2 central cities, 2 centers, like skyscraper centers. When I was driving in, I saw some cool like hills. There's lots of like little hillocks of rocky hillocks around, and I stayed with a cousin who I'd never met before for a couple of days there, who lives like right in the center of town, like in like an old house. Like right next to the library and the skyscrapers. And yeah, they said that it was like a really polluted place, because I had asthma there. I could tell I was having asthma when I was there. And they were saying, yeah, it was polluted like at night, like because it's in some kind of like valley, and it just like boxes it all in. And that's why they were leaving, because they were getting asthma. But her husband said that there's this like running trail that's 20 miles across, or mountain bike trail that goes 20 miles. There's all across the city over like these hills, because there's like this mountainous ridge that goes through the middle of it. And I was thinking about doing that, but I didn't. I kind of left. I left that place. But one day I rode up to the top of this hill. There's this big hill just to the south of the city but they make a great thing to ride up. But I drove up there and I shot the video of it before the sun came, and I could see all the lights, and it was huge. And even during the day, yeah, the city's really big. I should have gone to Tempe, because that's kind of like the affluent part. When I go to big cities, I like to go to where the rich people are, the rich suburban area, because there's like less crime there, and people are less likely to be like, what's that weird dude in the van hanging out all the time? You know, they're like a lot more innocent about it. And I think I can get away better with like sleeping in neighborhoods, or like finding a cul-de-sac someplace to park. You know, and there's more open area. But the libraries are nicer. The libraries are less crowded. And it just looks nicer. It's more comfortable to be around there. So it would have been cool to go to Tempe, but I heard Tempe was like, is this like, used to be swamps, and they like irrigated all the land, the water out of the swamp. And I did remember seeing a couple of big canals that go right through the center of the city. So yeah, because it's in the middle of the desert. Like, it never rains there. I don't know where they get their water. I think they divert it from the Colorado River. But it's a happening city. Phoenix is where the Phoenix Lights were back in '97. Like 10,000 people looked up north. I think there's like 5 million people live there. Looked up to sky, and this giant thing blocked out all the stars. And then they saw like rows of lights on it, and they were like, "What the fuck?" And even like the governor saw it, and I saw the governor on Larry King going, "Dude, it's aliens! It's aliens! I'm telling you, it's aliens!" And yeah, it's all these people thought it was alien. But then like somebody asked Bashar, the gray alien, like, "How come the Phoenix Lights are there?" And he goes, "Well, that's where the aliens are going to land. When the aliens land, the first place they're going to land is Phoenix, and that's why we're above Phoenix right now on our spaceship, about 70,000 feet, or like 17 miles or something, or no, like 17,000 miles, I don't know, above the Earth, but directly above Phoenix. They like to hang out directly above Phoenix, directly above Sedona, and directly above Cairo in their spaceship in a geodesic orbit." But yeah, he's like, "Yeah, because Phoenix, it's the name of the bird that rebirths itself. And so that's the city of rebirth. That's where the aliens are going to land." So it seems like a good place for that to happen. It had a good energy. It had like futuristic energy, you know. Place where you could go to vision the future, you know, spiritual energy, but not because of like spiritual people being there, but just like, I guess people go there. It's kind of like the Little America, because it's like the youngest big city in America. People all migrate there and leave all their crap behind, and they all live there to create their own new thing. So there's like less crap that you have to filter through if you want to see the vision of the future. So yeah, it had good energy, and that's why I was kind of like, why did I leave there after only 3 weeks? But yeah, but I liked it. It seemed like a cool place. Phoenix, and that's what I think about Phoenix.